Okay, welcome to this video on the Geometry Review target number 3. In this video, we're going to talk you through how to prove triangles either similar or congruent. Before we do so, we need to talk about the parts of a triangle. There are 6 parts. There are 3 angles and 3 sides. When we refer to these sides and angles, we do that in a consecutive order. If I were to refer to side angle side, I can do it clockwise, side angle side, or I can go counterclockwise, side angle side. But the main thing is we don't want to skip across parts as we do this. So what we want to do first of all is look at how to prove triangles similar. We want to think about what are the least amount of things that need to be true in order for them to be considered similar. So for starters, we need to look at 2 triangles that have congruent angles. If you have 2 triangles with 2 congruent angles, either with the markings showing that with 1 mark and then 2 marks, or with the actual angle measures being the same in both triangles, then you have what are called similar triangles. If I have 2 triangles that have proportional sides, I can then refer to it as side, 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 meaning that the scale factor from those 2 small sides is 4, and the largest sides is 4, and the scale factor in the middle one between the 2 is also 4. If all 3 sides' scale factors are the same, then these triangles are similar by side, side, side. If I have just 2 sides that are also proportional, scale factor of 2 in this case here, and an included angle that's also congruent, these triangles are considered similar as well. So under these 3 conditions, the triangles are considered similar, and when that's the case, once you use these minimal pieces to be true, then we have all the parts where all sides are proportional and all the angles are congruent that you didn't mention earlier. So then next, I want to look at what it takes to make triangles congruent. There are 5 things you want to consider to make them be considered congruent. Now when I say congruent, it means I have 2 triangles with a scale factor of 1, and when that happens, I then have all corresponding parts congruent. But in order to do that, the least amount of things you need to have true in the first case are 3 sides that are all the exact same length. There's only one exact way to put 3 sides together and get the exact same triangle. That always happens with side, side, side. To explain side angle side, though, if I had 2 sides that were the same measure and the angle between them the same, you can think of it this way. You'd only be able to connect these dots in one way, and it would be the same exact distance on both triangles. So therefore, these would have to also be congruent with side angle side. If I had a side that was congruent on both triangles, in other words, scale factor of 1, you would have these angles also congruent that are attached to both of those, and this other one that's just kind of hanging out here all by itself. But again, there's only one way you could arrange this so it points at both endpoints, and in this case, again, they're going to be congruent triangles. Under the conditions of angle-side angle, it's like having a side that's the same in both those triangles. Again, scale factor of 1. But these angles then shoot up at both directions and meet at one point, which in both cases would have to be the exact same thing in both triangles, therefore making these congruent as well. And then last of all, to explain why hypotenuse leg works, is if you have the hypotenuse the same in both triangles and a leg the same in both triangles, you could use the Pythagorean theorem to find the third side, and it would have to work out the same in both triangles as well, therefore making both triangles congruent by side, 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 but we just use the minimum amount of hypotenuse leg to prove them congruent. And again, when that's true, these triangles have the same scale factor of 1, and then forcing all the angles congruent as well, and then all 6 parts are considered congruent. So I hope this video has helped in at least considering all the 5 things needed to make them congruent, or the 3 things to make them similar. Good luck, and hopefully this video helps.